Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is, of course, Friday and time for slightly delayed update. The reason for the delay, I'll explain as soon as I know if I'm good. Okay, awesome. So, look, it's part of my job at the studio, and relationship with you folks is to always give you the honest, appraisal of where we're at. Sometimes it's great. I love giving, really good news. Sometimes I have not so good news. And sometimes I have really shitty news. And I really, really hate having to do that. It's no fun. It's no fun for you. It's no fun for us, quite frankly. It's even less fun for us. Fortunately, not going to do that today. What I am going to do is give you exactly what you've been waiting for. So, starting next week, we're going to be inviting ITs and Alpha to see the new siege scenario. That's what I was testing, and I can tell you, oh man, it's looking good. So what did I see? I was in a scenario with 700 arcs, 700 NPCs that were firing off scorpions, magic mortars, and trebuchets. I was running around the map with everything firing off, killing me at times, destroying the building in real time. 9 million block building being destroyed, real time, fully networked, and I am just loving it. So, is it perfect? Nope. If it was perfect, we'd invite everybody in. But it's getting really close. Like, if you've been in our siege tests up to now, you remember the bouncy castles. You remember the bits that went flying up into the atmosphere, it appeared. Yeah, that's gone. It's a little hitchy, but let's face it, 700 plus, I think it was 750, but we could bring in more, running around with, I think it was almost 100, or maybe even over 100 siege weapons firing. I mean, we have multiple dozen trebuchets. We've got magic mortars. We've got scorpions. We have archers with firing. We have mages, I think, firing as well. We've got destruction. We've got, again, a 9 million block building being destroyed real time. And you'll see it. And again, hopefully this coming week, I think it will be. Right now, I was playing it on the Water Prep, and as you folks know, that's where we like to test things with our backers. And oh, did that feel good? It's been a lot of progress over the last few weeks. And Andrew's got some more fixes going in. Everyone is contributing to this effort. The area itself is looking really good. We still have to work on the lighting. We're going to do that next week, probably more towards the end of the week. We've got some other things to go in, lots of other things to go in. We have, Treville, who's just been doing an amazing job in creating this first new siege scenario. This is what we've been waiting for. And when I say we, I mean us here at CSE, but I also mean backers. I mean, we promised you that from the beginning that this game was going to be about large-scale sieges. And we're not talking about 200 or 300. We said 500. That was our goal. Obviously, we've done multiple thousands of that. Now, again, I was in there with a 9 million block castle being destroyed with over 700, NPCs running around with me. So, yeah, folks, should be an interesting week. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not more hypey, why I'm not, for example, wearing sunglasses, never again, or anything like that, it's, because I'm keeping another promise to you folks. And as you all know, especially, oh my God, the backers who've been with us from day one, or even year one. We're kind of big on keeping promises. I don't make a lot of them, specifically because I feel they have to be kept. And I promised I wouldn't hype, so I'm not jumping up and down. I am not, looking all crazy. I am not doing the things that I might have done certainly a number of years ago. I want you folks to judge for yourself, and you're going to get that opportunity. Starting next week, we will absolutely be encouraging the ITs and alphas to come in, and after that, beta 1s, you will absolutely get a chance to look at it. And then the week after, depending on how things are going, we'll let everybody in to take a peek at the craziness of what we're doing. Because let me tell you, running, and maybe I'll even share the video I shot. I shot multiple videos actually. Because running on top of a keep where you're seeing all the trebs firing and all the weapons, siege weapons and spells going off, and you're seeing stuff destroyed right in front of you. There's one bit in the video where I just run, across a little ledge as things are getting blown up around me, and then it gets blown up from under me, and down I go. So, this, as I've been saying for, a number of months now, this was the last big, truly tech, hurdle we had to conquer, tough tech hurdle. Because no other game has, done this to date. Folks, you will see next week that while we're not there yet, we are really close to being there. And with Andrew's changes, we might even be there. So I look forward to your reactions. I look forward to seeing you in testing next week. And if things go well, we will make that certainly a build candidate for a weekend test. It is definitely not ready for that yet, but it might be by the end of the week. We'll let you know. So that's it for the news. Let's go to the top 10-ish, which is short for us today. I apologize, it's only 11 items. Okay, so let's start with number 1, because you should always start with 1. Art, tech, design, work in progress, new siege scenario. Yeah, I mean, I basically name almost everybody in the studio who's contributed, has contributed to the siege scenario, whether it's art or engineering. Ben and I, we've all been doing stuff to try to build out and to make the siege scenario fun. So, people, like Tyler and others have put in extra hours, to try to get this done by the end of the month. And well, it's not the 11th hour, it is the 4th hour, but it must be 11 somewhere. But we are, really getting close to having it in awesome shape, before the end of the month. Number 2, work in progress, tech, improved ability system. So, lots more updates, as we've been saying. Big thing, of course, is you can already craft your own abilities during our play tests, and we're continuing to add more parts, hook up or fix the VFX and animations, and overall continuing to fill out the components for the existing classes, including the mages. Number 3, work in progress, tech, BPOs, building placed objects. So Matt and Colin did a lot of work towards delivering the best placeable objects in buildings. Best placeable objects. I think there's a typo there.
Quite possibly.
Best placeable as opposed to the non-placeable, or the kind of good but not best placeable.
I don't know. It sounds like a tech term to me.
Best placeable objects. Well, we only want the best, right? The key is that we've done a lot of work with it, and one of the new guys has also done great work in delivering the building, building placed objects.
Matt is in the chat, and he suggests we rename it to BBPO.
Because only the best. Number 4, design, art, siege, and you can tell that I barely read this before, it started, because I was testing the damn siege scenario, which was awesome, and I didn't want to leave. Number 4, design, art, but I did because I love you guys and gals and whatevers. Number 4, design, art, siege engines, As some of the IT backers may have noticed, we've added a new siege engine, the Magic Mortar. So yeah, right now the Magic Mortars aren't firing all that well, but we will have that fixed by next week. But they're in and they are working. The idea, of course, is to have lots of different siege engines for you folks to play around with and to show, of course, in a video, because more is better. Number 5, tech, NPC behavior. Yeah, look, I can't, quite frankly, think of enough funny things to say about our NPCs, and the best is really they used to be as dumb as rocks, which is an insult to rocks, unfortunately. But we have actually made them smarter. So they can now reload siege engines and fire, and they can target the bricks of a building. So, yes, thanks to the folks who are working on it, they are actually working well. So I'm going to have to stop the bot jokes, or the NPC, behavior jokes, because, they have improved. They are now smarter, than the average rock. Tech, health bars. This week, JB was able to update the health bars to properly display wounds on the UI and made the health bars show as 3, segments for now, which matches the current wounds implementation. So, more game stuff. Number 7, work in progress, character LODs. So, Dion, Joe, and Tyler continued adding in more LODs to improve performance. So, as you folks know, we are always focused on improving performance. This is something all, game developers who are making these kind of games work on. LODs are rather important, especially, when you want, 1,000 or 2,000 characters on the screen. Number 8, work in progress, art mage outfits. Speaking of which, John finished the final Viking model. And by the way, that's the final Viking model for mages, just in case anyone was worried. Number 9, in environment. John made 2 TDD statues for our new scenario, and Tyler continues work adding in more rocks, better looking grass, etc. So part of the goal, of course, with the siege scenario is to make the area feel more interesting. Not just like we've done in the past with the castle siege, which the area around it is certainly well designed for a siege, but it's not particularly interesting. So we're working on making it more interesting. Is it there yet? Nope, but we're getting there. Number 10, work in progress, art, animation. Magic Mortar animations, mage animations for the Lucapan. So the little folks now have their own animation for Magic Mortars, retargeted off the humans, because after all, we really do want an animation where they're loading themselves into the Magic Mortar and launching them. Shared sword and shield combat. Scott added skirt and cape animations to our various sword and shield combat animations. And last, improved archer movement. So we're making the archers look better. So the last item on the update is another work in progress. Character texture warping fix. Yeah, we got caught in the whole sci-fi thing, and textures started looking like Star Citizen, but fortunately they don't cost you $100 per texture.
So this is Warp 11.
So this is Warp 11, exactly. Very good. So yeah, that's it for the top 10ish and for the news. And so shortish, I don't know how short, but shortish, Q&A, folks, because I want to get back actually to what I was doing, actual work as opposed to having fun plus work, because that siege scenario was fun. So let's go.
Alrighty. 10,001 asks, one of the things I love about Dayak is how every spell or skill seems to have a hard counter. Will there be the same kind of non-mirrored spells and skills, and will they mostly have hard counters in the opposing realms?
Oh, we've said right from the beginning, this, like Dayak and other games, is an RP. Sorry, I was sick earlier this week. I caught whatever's going around the daycare, center that we call, game studio.
Wow.
Well, it is. Everyone is sick, and then we get everyone else sick. I mean, you just wait. You have a youngin'. Just
know.
wait till your youngin starts going to daycare and coming back with stuff. You're going to then look at me and go, yes, you were right. Because that's what we have here.
Another reason to homeschool.
Yeah, well, that's true. But that's exactly what we have here. One or two people get sick, and then we take out a bunch of other folks. And yeah, it took me out, so my voice is a little bit scratchy. So yes, we've said from the beginning we're a rock, paper, scissors game. You are absolutely going to have counters. This is not mirrored in any way. We've said that right from the beginning, and as our longtime backers know, I haven't backed off a single thing. Everything that we said during the Kickstarter in terms of what we were going to deliver in terms of a game, we are still aiming to deliver, and in some cases we've already exceeded that. For example, the large-scale battles.
Hellskip asks, as we know from the crafting documentation, nothing is eternal, everything will break. Will the jewelry break? Necklaces, rings, and cloaks.
So if they can be used in combat, then, or for in any way personal enhancement, then yes, they can take. Then they should take damage, which means they can break. If they are purely cosmetic items, I don't see any need to have them take damage or break.
Lodoween asks, will stabilizers be portable, or will they be destroyed when captured by an opposing realm?
So there'll be different kinds of stabilizers, of course. The bigger ones will not be portable. Small ones, more temporary ones, can be portable.
Lev Villain asks, Lev says they've been waiting to ask Mark about the Veil. Have you defined what the Veil will be and how those classes will work?
Defined it? No. Well, so the word define. Do you mean, have I laid everything out? No, absolutely not. Have I defined it in a sense of how it's going to work in theory until we actually test it? Yes. The classes are just still a discussion as opposed to, hard decisions. The real question is, and this is the one that certainly I've been asked a lot since the Kickstarter, is how the Veil and how the Veil is going to work and what it will mean to stealthers. So that's an ongoing thing. My intentions again remain true to the Kickstarter, that we want to make the Veil mechanic cool, for stealthers. We want to make it useful for stealthers, but we don't want to make it OP for stealthers. And that's going to dictate exactly what shape the Veil takes. Because if we, it's the age-old question with stealthers. If you make them too powerful and too OP, they're a lot of fun to play, and they drive, can absolutely drive other people away from the game. If you don't make them powerful enough, they tend to be cannon fodder, like glass cannons without the cannon part, and you drive away stealthers. We've been very absolutely clear from the beginning, whether it comes to stealthers, healers, crafters. We don't want to drive any people away, or the vast majority, because you're always going to piss off somebody. But we certainly want to have a system where stealthers feel like the Veil mechanic is important to them and it is enjoyable, but not to the point that again we drive people away simply because they're OP.
Veruca asks, on the forum we've been discussing playing as a peddler/merchant using bobs or wagons. Will that be an option in addition to realm caravans?
I certainly hope so. It's funny, I was thinking about Bob the other night, and for filming, doing this kind of filming, I'm going to ask for a Bob to replace me for the final video that we're going to shoot for here. I shouldn't say the final, but a release video. Because me running around is whatever is one thing, but I think giving it a little bit of that, CSE, CU, the depths feel. I think having a Bob run around, I think that's a great idea.
Bumble asks, any update on when the NDA will be dropping?
The NDA will be dropping as soon as we can release a video. Oh, ah! Likely.
My mind is going blank.
You don't have anything to say. You can't have that.
Oh my god.
So, well done. In terms of a hard date, it's really when we can put up a video that shows the ones. Well, I don't want to say just the folks who haven't heard of us yet. The folks who have heard it and haven't pledged, the ones who haven't heard about us, and even our own backers who haven't been in the game's testing so far. When we can put up a video that really shows them what they'll be getting with this game, that's when we're going to lift the NDA. That isn't the case now, obviously. We've been very clear that we're only going to do it when we feel that the game is showing itself in a way that is positive overall, in a way that represents what you're going to be getting. Because that's, again, this is this is something I'm not asked every week, but very often. Since we're doing just about nothing to encourage people to pledge, as you folks who've been in the updates for a while know, I've said that we're not having sales, we're not having promotions, we're just making the game and leaving the store up. So when we're ready to show the game, when we're ready to say to people, hey, now is the time. If you want to get in and have some early fun, as well as to take advantage of those tiers, that's when the video will go up, because well, it's the other way around. That will go up when the video is ready, because to do otherwise is just not the way we do things. So hopefully soon. But this is a big. So the Siege stuff, that's a big step. We had to have that. We had to have a very tangible way of showing not only our backers, but new backers, that we can deliver on what we promised. Yes, it's late, but when you can see something that no other game has done, that's pretty cool. Plus, being in a Siege with that much stuff flying around and at a good frame rate, that was glorious.
Speaking of stuff that's glorious, Fubu says, I thought Chad Chadsworth worked at Town State Leisure.
There we go. Thank you. He is so totally Chad, right?
Pepsis98 asks, for the NPC guards for keeps, will you use a system like Warhammer where guilds can claim the keeps and pay for increased guard presence or reinforced doors and such?
I wouldn't say it's just like Warhammer. Certainly you're going to be able to, you have to have defenses for your keep, your castle, your home. And whether it's guards, whether it's other things, I can safely say there'll be a lot of options. And with NPCs that are not as dumb as rocks.
Aeromorph01 asks, where are you guys at with the AMD graphic issues? When this is fixed, do you foresee issues with the new graphics cards that are scheduled to be released later in the year?
Well, I can tell you that as of today, Farinelli was in the same test I was, and he was on an AMD card. So, and everything was great. So we certainly fixed the current issues. In terms of any new issues from new cards, we don't know what they'll be yet. We're not on, AMD's not preview, special developer list where they ship you things to ensure compatibility. But I assume we'll fix them. I know we'll fix them. It's not even assume. Of course we'll fix them. We turned this one around pretty quickly, and like I said, John was there while all those NPCs and siege engines were firing off, and everything was great. So definitely, we used to as of 28 minutes ago, everything was running beautifully on his card.
Sop with Camel asks, can you detail the state of the game you would consider adequate for entering Beta 2?
Sure. Obviously, all classes, entering Beta 2. Most likely all launch classes in the game, albeit not finished, meaning that not all their abilities are ready to go. Ready to go live, but certainly ready to go for testing. We have to have Siege working in its next incarnation, not just what you're seeing, what you'll be seeing. Excuse me. Sorry, voice is really starting to go. Next week, we have to have not the full persistence, but we have to be able to have the kind of persistence and realm rewards and everything else we've been talking about. Crafting has to be in and working across all the different types. It does not, again, have to have the final recipes or all the recipes or the whole system. And I'm using the term recipe very loosely because it's a lot easier to say that than to explain just how interesting the system is. And things like that. There are other things, but since my voice is going, I want to only take a couple more questions.
Should we go to the last question?
No, give him 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, folks.
All right, 10-minute warning. Zyrus asks, during one of the sieges, a castle wall fell on me and killed me. In the final game, is there any chance of something like an air wall or air barrier preventing this?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. The whole point of what we're doing, and it doesn't matter whether it's air the system or sorry, it is starting to hurt. So yeah, one more question after this. Or building destruction is to actually instantiate these things as real projectiles, real objects in the game. And when you can do that, when you can have rubble fall off that is actually an object and not just something faked, for either a video or just, not really part of the world. When you put the amount of time that we are putting in to do these sorts of things, you can do some very interesting things as well, and that's what we're intending to do. And so whether it's a building starting to fall and somebody putting up an air wall, putting up a shield of some other kind around you to protect yourself, that's the whole point of doing things the way we are. These things are objects in the world. These things can fall on you. They can hurt you. They can also, or should be able to, be blocked or be able to be pushed past you. And sorry, folks, about this. I didn't think my voice was going to go this quickly.
Think you can take one last one?
Yeah. One good last one.
Lodoween asks, do you think that if the Kickstarter had only reached 1,975,000 and not funded 6 years ago, that we would still be talking about Camelot Unchained today? Or would you really have just dropped the project? And if you had, what aspects of the last 6 years would you be saddest and happiest to have missed?
Oh, geez.
I know my life would be much poorer had I not had the opportunity to get to interact with all of you at CSE these past 6 years.
Great question. Great sentiments, Lodoween. Thank you. So would we have done Camelot Unchained? Doubtful, but possible. The reason why is during the Kickstarter, we certainly had people who were not just individual backers talk to us. If the Kickstarter had failed, could I have spoken to any of them about funding us? The answer is yes, I could have. Would I have? That's a discussion Andrew and I, quite frankly, never had. We would have had to have it. it was. I don't know. I honestly don't know. If we had found the right company to work with, then yes, there would have been a Camelot Unchained. Certainly, there are a handful of companies out there now, based on everything I've heard about people who've worked with them, that I would absolutely work with again. And there are others that, yeah, again, I don't think I would work with under any circumstances. And that's fine. That's how it should be. I mean, there are people who won't work with me. And that's all well and good. Not everyone's perfect. Not everyone is aligned. He just got my reference. So, I don't know if it would have happened. I'd like to think it would have happened. In terms of, the best, do you say the best and worst or just the best?
What aspects would you be saddest and happiest to have missed?
Exactly. So the happiest thing let's start with the worst. The happiest thing to have missed would have been the delays. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. I hate them with an effing passion. Not the delays that are good and true, because sometimes, you are delaying for good and true reasons. But then there are other delays that, while you are delaying because you need to, you just want to hit your head against the wall. I have. Repeatedly, when the delays are things that you wish that shouldn't have happened, that, are on us, as opposed to just, hey, we're delaying for, different reasons. And I would have happily skipped that. I would have happily skipped sitting in front of the camera, and talking about those kind of mistakes or those kind of errors. I hate doing it. It's not like I enjoy this part. I didn't enjoy it back at Mythic, whether it was Warhammer or Dark Age of Camelot, but I was always there. I absolutely refused to send a community manager, even a brilliant one like Sonia, in front of you folks to deliver bad news. Big bad news had to come from me. I tried to do that every time. I still try to do it every time. And it's not because secretly I'm a masochist. Pretty much the opposite of that. But I felt that it's the job of the person who is, on top, at the top of the masthead and all that, to take ownership, to take responsibility. I don't know, to act like a friggin' leader and deliver that kind of news. So I could have happily skipped that. So the best parts, though, oh my God, I don't even know where to begin. First and foremost, it's getting to work with the people I work with every day. I love you backers, but you know what? The privilege of being able to work with the people in this studio and in Seattle and remotely, I love it. We're a family. Every so often, one of us, including me, isn't perfect, is the person in the family that disrupts things. But I wouldn't trade that experience. I mean, it's great. The fact that I can do it with people who I really respect and like and can even hang out with is a privilege, and it's a rare one. So I am deeply grateful for that. It is one of the things I, tell everyone during the interviews that I give for people to come in here, that we're very protective of that as a family. We want the right people, and it's not just a matter of being good at your job. It means being a good person. No, we can't read into people's souls, or we don't, have the kind of tests that, sort of people try to peer in. We go with our instincts, and if somebody doesn't work out, they don't work out. But overall, we've just got a great bunch of guys and gals, just as I did at Old Mythic. And so I couldn't be happier about that. I certainly would have missed the interaction with backers. Some of you folks have been absolutely wonderful. Some of you haven't, but that's okay. That's just how life is. And that is fantastic. Again, you folks, have been generous with your time. been generous with your support, been unbelievably generous with your patience, and I would not have traded, that as well for anything. The challenge. I love a good challenge. Oh my God. We knew this was going to be a challenge. Andrew and I laid out a lot of things that we wanted this company to do when it came to this game. And look at what we've accomplished. Look at what the engine can do. So that kind of challenge is like catnip to me. It always has been. I absolutely love it. So I would have missed that a lot. Boy, what else would I have missed? I would have missed out from my end on the creative side of things, whether it's envisioning the world of Camelot Unchained, writing so much of the lore of Unchained. It's led me down to write graphic novels. Frankly, I don't think I would have been doing that. It's not that I never wanted to do that. I just either didn't have the time or I didn't have the drive, actually, to do that. But now I do. And so, on a personal level, getting to create what I've been creating, whether they become popular or not, or even get published or not, is secondary. It's been, joyful for me. Boy, what else? Well, like I said, that's. I do want to cut it short, but that's a lot of it. There are other things, both on the bad side as well as the good, but it really, at the end of the day, it does come down to people, and it's whether it's the people here, or Seattle or remote, as well as you folks who have backed us. It's made the 3-hour tour far more enjoyable than it might have been in a different place with a different set of backers. And so I am, as always, grateful for that. It's why I say so many times, we're grateful, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. So, I wish things have gone differently, of course. I wish we were further along. On the other hand, I look at what we can do, and I was giddy during the test. I was just a big, giant smile, especially because things have changed so much in the last few weeks. And when you see that kind of progress, when you see very tangible results, where you can look at a video from, again, 2 weeks ago, and you go, okay, that's good-ish in terms of, progress, or it's good in terms of progress, not even the ish part. Save ish for, John Carter and Mars and all that. But it is, it's great now, and it's going to be even better. And that makes me feel just fantastic. Again, when I was running along the castle as it was falling apart around me, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And not just as a player, but as a developer, I know if we can do this today, other teams in the future are going to be able to do even better. And as someone who's always been very focused on the industry and, thinking about its future, that just gets me excited. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, you can do this in VR. We do it just for fun, but yeah, you could actually do and see all this in VR. Some of you folks in the last test, during the test, said, hey, Mark, when are we going to see VR support? And I'm like, dude, it's in there now. Use a magic incantation when you start your client, and you can see it in VR. Now, it's not an experience I would even call decent, but it works. You can move around, you can see it, you can see the large-scale sieges. It's just you have no UI, you have no controls other than, hey, run around and generally die. But you see that the engine is working. You see that, you can watch a large-scale battle, or you can watch a keep being destroyed in real time. So, maybe we'll do something with that down the road. But man, oh man, can you imagine? Not to panic anybody, but can you imagine, a 200, 300 person, battle in VR as not making a battle royale game now? We're not. But can you imagine that? I mean, how awesome would that in VR with the castle falling apart around you? So, that's the kind of killer app I think we could make. We are not making one now. We haven't done anything new for VR in like a year. Was the last time George and Matt, I think, I don't know if someone else also helped out. Andrew might have put in a little time too on making it run, but it's just pretty cool. So for you folks who do have VR, headsets, certainly if you want to come into the game using them, you can do that, but do understand you got nothing. You can walk around and you can die because you can't fight, but you can actually. You might be able to actually use the keyboard. I didn't even try to use any of the abilities I had active, but you'd be welcome to try because I'm certainly going to muck around with it a bit more. So that's kind of cool. All right, I've spoken far too long, and my voice is definitely telling me to shut up. And so I will actually do that. Since the two people who can, or the two things that can tell me to shut up are one, my voice, and second is Lady J. I'll listen to my voice this time. So, folks, I don't know what the scoop is on a weekend test. We'll find out. I know we have new builds. The Siege scenario is not eligible for a weekend test this weekend. But it will be next week. Again, it's already on Nevada Prep, so we're going to do some more testing here today, but we're looking pretty good. So look, everyone have a good weekend. Have fun, stay safe, and hopefully April Fools will actually have some. I doubt it. But really funny ones. It's getting kind of old, sadly. But don't count on us. We're not doing anything. Just as I've said in previous years, we don't have the time. However, if we do launch this year, as we hope, or early next year, definitely next year we will have hopefully something clever, for April Fools. So having said that, as always, I want to thank you once again for your patience, your support. We are all, and as always, grateful. So as my voice is now running out, goodbye. See you next week.
See you later. Keep an eye out for update email and newsletter emails going out.
See how he showed off? Projecting.
I'm on the wrong side of the mic.
I know.
All right, see you later.